In the house. Shalom, 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 shalom. Peace and welcome. Peace and welcome to another episode. You got it. DSTM, Don't Shoot the Messenger. Episode 193. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. While you shy, we made it. We still pushing. We still mashing. Hopefully, you wiped your feet before you came on in here. Usually, we don't do this on Sundays, but holding good to my word. Friday, we didn't get through everything, so we're gonna double back and finish up what we missed. All right, go double back and figure out what we missed. All praises, man. All praises, brother Brian. Yeah, that was a song called To Zion and Back, circa 2000. Yeah, your boy was young and doing this thing with my other brethren back then, man. So it's hard to believe, man. That song is 23 years old. Unreal, unreal. But all praises, man. All praises to the Most High, man. Hopefully everybody's good, man. This is a day we usually don't commune, but I see some of the fam up in here, man. Shalom to Karatazai. Shalom to my brother Kohath. Shalom to Uziel and Malachi. Shalom, Sister Tika. We in the house. All praises. There's the Wiz. My sister's in the house. All praises. Good deal. Good deal. I guess everybody else is at church. I don't mean to interrupt y'all Sabbath. You know, But we got work to do, man. We got work to do. We got information to put out. We got prophecies to talk about. We got to look at this whole thing from a worldwide spectrum. And that's what we do here, man. If you have not wiped your feet yet, man, please get out. Walk out, about face, go out, open up that door, turn back around, wipe your feet, open it up, come back in. All right. I know the vets that's in here. I know y'all did. I know y'all did. I'm talking about the stragglers. I'm talking about the ones that's gonna be coming in later on. I'm talking about the ones that's gonna be watching tomorrow morning while they're at work or on their drive. Some of the ones that may watch this evening, what have you. Need y'all to go ahead and wipe your feet, all right? Got a lot to cover today, man, so we ain't gonna waste too much more time, man. Hopefully everybody's solidified and well today. We're gonna get right to the business at hand. Right to the business at hand. All right, let me share my screen and we'll get to it. All right. Um, let's get right to it. Y'all already know. All right. So continuing on, let's get right to the business at hand. Everybody knows what's going on with this whole bank collapse. With the bank collapse with the Silicon Valley Bank, the 16th largest bank in the country, collapsed. Last Friday, defaulted on everything, man. The feds had to come in and take it over. People are standing in line, ran to the bank, standing in line, hopefully trying to get their deposits and their money out. The system froze up. They couldn't get their monies out. That's a dangerous and we've talked about it. There's a lot of people out there, man, that don't believe. You know what? We was talking about this yesterday, me and the brothers, talking about this yesterday, and just kind of understanding the disconnect that our people have when it comes down to understanding what the will of the Lord is. You know, our people are sitting up here just in complete denial, in regards to what's going on in the world. How are things affecting them? They trusting in oppression and believing that there's no faultiness with the so-called white man. He's gonna save us out here, man. Why Zaddy's got us? We know that there's problems going on out there, but he's gonna fix it. Don't worry, as he always does, right? Yeah. You telling people, man, hey, the banks is collapsing, man, the economy's collapsing, end of times is here, a war is on, plagues is on. They like, come on, don't start with all of that. You blowing my high. Come on, don't start with all of that, man. I was just about to go get me a drink. Can we talk about it later, man? The game is on. You dig what I'm saying? And now they sitting up here looking at these things going on and got their eyes bugged out saying, what is this for real? Like what's going on? Let's read this Habakkuk chapter 1 and let's read we're going to read 4 and 5. So it says verse 4, therefore the law is slacked and judgment doth never go forth, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Well, we see that clearly in today's times. Wickedness has completely overtaken the world. There's more wicked than there is righteous in the earth right now. I think we can all agree on that. We're seeing all the egregious acts of sin and unrighteousness going on all throughout the world. The righteous are scarcely trying to hold on to our, moral and civil ethics and codes. Man, brother Aladad did a class yesterday regarding the brother with 7 baby mamas and 7, kids, and him saying he don't want nothing to do with them, and he warned them he didn't want them, but meanwhile he's still shooting up the club, as they say. Me personally, I think the dude was capping. I don't think it's all real. I think he's looking for some clout. My wife was watched some other related videos to him. He's been getting interviewed by some people, and I guess through some of these interviews and some of the questions, the Jake been kind of stumbling over his answers and backtracking on certain things, and his stories ain't matching up. The certain things that was kind of red flags. That's why I kind of put it out there yesterday, because you know how it is, man. Our haters all the time. As soon as something goes left or something ain't right, see, the Israelites, they be out there putting out false information. That was all a fake video. See, you can't trust what they talking about. So there's always has to be disclaimers in effect, just in case. And we're in the day in the day and age now, man, like we've always read in um Second Timothy about the perilous times that we're living in and men being lovers of themselves. We're in the era of clout chasing. There's cats out here, man, that will sell both cheeks on their butt just for a little 15 minutes of fame and a little exposure and a little attention. We're in an attention getting society right now, and a lot of our people are falling victim of it, man. They're willing to do anything to be seen and noticed, anything to monetize themselves, man. I seen some dude, man, big old Jake. All he does, he goes to restaurants and dances and just looking all super goofy, wearing little ass shorts, and I mean the dude looks like a damn defensive lineman, but he cut up, he swell. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this guy, but showing his teeth every minute and doing all kind of gyrations. I mean, it's just really ridiculous. You talking about the mighty men of Israel is running around here looking like damn uh goofy, effeminized background dancers. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know who the guy is, but I seen some short on my YouTube feed. Y'all know how that goes. And here I see the guy dancing around, man, and I don't know what the hell's going on with our people, man, but it is ridiculous. But the wicked are compassing about the righteous. We're surrounded. They've overtaken us in this race, right? That's why the Lord said that there's only going to be a remnant that escapes up out of here, man, a chosen elect. Because 2/3 of our people is going to be refusing to turn back to the Lord. They're going to get destroyed, right along with the so-called white man and the heathen that don't bow down. So it says, therefore the law is slack and judgment doth never go forth, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgments proceeded. So we see that all throughout America. Wrong judgments proceeded. Brothers getting out after doing 30 years for crimes they didn't commit, coming out getting small chump change settlements after their lives are ruined. You know, wrong judgments proceeded. Cop that shot and killed Oscar Grant back at the Fruitvale station up north in Oakland. He got 18 months for killing that brother and got out early. Michael Vick gets 3 years for fighting dogs. Does that not tell you that a black man's life is worth less than a dog in the eyes of the so-called white man? Judgment never proceedeth. Verse 5, behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. Well, who's among the heathen? The children of Israel. We're the ones that's amongst the heathen, amongst the Gentiles. Behold, as a matter of fact, let me get a precept on that one. I think it's Tobit 12. No, it might be Tobit 13. Yeah, here we go. Tobit 13. Um, and we'll read 1 down to 3 just to get to the point. Then Tobit wrote a prayer of rejoicing and said, blessed be Yahweh that liveth forever, and blessed be his kingdom. For he doth scourge and hath mercy. He leadeth down to hell and bringeth up again. Neither is there any that can avoid his hand. So we're seeing the power of the Most High, the mercy. We go through the curses, the scourgings. We go through the corrections. We go through the reproving. that the Most High puts us through. The furnace of affliction. We're going through that. Now the Lord said, and He has mercy on us. He allows us an escape. He allows us everlasting mercies to seek His face 10 times or more in the spirit of repentance. And then He says He lead us down to hell, so we get put to death. We go through the cursings, even in Isaiah 5:13, it says, therefore we've gone into captivity because we have no knowledge, and hell hath enlarged itself. So that's part of our captivity. That's an aspect of hell as well, is being in captivity. He leadeth down to hell and bringeth up again. Neither is there any that can avoid his hand. Verse 3, confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them. So when we go back over here, the Gentiles are the heathens. In this context, we know that the Gentiles in the New Testament have a different context in many instances. Behold ye among the heathen, because we've been scattered among them, and regard and wonder marvelously. So everything that we're seeing, we're going through, I wonder marvelously. I look at all these prophecies unfold, and I'm looking at all these current events. I'm seeing all of the episodes of DSTM and the information that's been getting put out and how they correlate with the scriptures. We're seeing all of the things that's happening with the beast system, and the transitionings of the kingdoms and so forth and so on. We're seeing how much closer we are to the glory of the Lord and the deliverance of the children of Israel and our kingdom being manifest here on earth. He said, wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days. In our day, we're going to see the works of the Lord happen, which ye will not believe. So, Salaki. So we see many of our people don't believe. They don't understand. They don't even have an ear to hear, eyes to see, to understand what's going on right in front of them. You can tell them all day, hey, this is in the Bible. Hey, this is going down. Right, this is the last day. Hey, you need to start preparing yourself. Get your spirit in order. Start repenting. They're like, for what? It's Tuesday. It's Sunday. What last days? I'm living in the moment. Drake told me I only live once. YOLO. I'm going to go ahead on and live my best life. So I'm going to go over here to the dispensary. I'm going to go buy some weed. I'm going to fire that up. I'm going to go get this pill. I'm going to pop that too. I'm going to go watch the game. Then I'm going to go call up old girl I met on Instagram. See if we can Netflix and chill. Then I'm going to go to work tomorrow and I'm going to do the same thing all over again. That's the mind frame of the damn ignorant Negro and Hispanic right now running around here because they don't believe. Everything's going on around them. Walls crashing in, banks collapsing, layoffs is happening left and right. The economy's going haywire. America can't pay off its debts. They're getting ready to default. Global economies is going to be affected by that. World War III has already began. I mean, all hell is breaking loose, and they sitting back saying, what? I don't see it. I don't believe it. Even our own people. You got our own people, man. Brothers in the truth that don't understand and have not analyzed and don't have the discernment to really see what's going on. They can hear about it. You can get little tidbits, but their actions prove differently on whether or not they really believe or understand and know what's happening. Which ye will not believe, though it be told you. There's a lot of stuff, man. Me self-admittedly, I can look and say, damn, that's happening. Wow, that's crazy. Even though the Most High said there's going to be famines, plagues, pestilence, disease, there's going to be earthquakes in diverse places. You're going to have World War III. Even though it was told, it's like, whoa, it's really happening. You can have all of these same emotions, man. We all got the same thing, but it's a difference when you're in defiance of belief and just say, nah, as opposed to, yeah, I believe, man. I even believe even more now. See, these are supposed to be faith building things that we see. All right, so let's continue on. Let's look over here. All right. So the SVB fallout spreads around the world from London to Singapore. This is what they've been calling a bank contagion. So when that bank collapsed because of the high interest rates and they couldn't keep up with their money, see, that's one of the things. That's how the banks operate. They don't have the cash on hand that they say. They do overnight trades. They do overnight selling the debts, exchanging monies back and forth so that they can keep up with the credit lines and so forth and so on, man. Everything that we see is just digitized on the screen. That doesn't mean that they have it solvent. You know what I'm saying? That's why they have bank limitations on how much you can withdraw. And you saying this is my money. Why are you telling me I can only take out 10,000? I can only take out 5,000? Or you just got your income tax check and it's $6,000. Good luck if that's what it is. If some of y'all getting blessed like that, all praises. But you go deposit it in there and they say, "Oh, 2,500 is available now." And tomorrow we'll release another 2,000, and then the remaining balance will be ready by Tuesday or Wednesday. Cuz they ain't got it. They got to shuffle around robbing Peter to pay Paul, as they say, to try to get that money up in there. So this particular bank, 16th largest bank in the nation, collapsed. Everybody knows or should have heard by now. This is the big tech bank up in Silicon Valley, man. All the little techies dropping in. They're hundreds of thousands. The tech industry was big, man. A lot of them cats in tech was making big money. This was the trusted bank that many of them were putting depositing their money in. The Google, the Google click, the Facebook employees, all of them making all that money, and they was deposited in there. And now the bank has collapsed. And how's this look for the outlook for the rest of the world? Startup founders in California's Bay Area are panicking about access to money and paying employees. Do you see that? So just because the bank has your money doesn't mean that you own it. That is yours. That is mine. You know, I mentioned this how long ago? It was a while back. But just as another act of preparation, I told everybody, I said, look, if you can stash a little cash here or there, make sure that you do so. Because if there is a bank run or a bank collapses, or let's just say something happens with a cyber attack, or somebody does an identity theft and they got to shut your cards down and you have no access to money, when you get your check, you should be taking 20, 30, whatever you can afford, and do like the old school. Put it underneath your mattress. Put it in a safe if you have one. But have a little cash on hand because you never know. If you trust everything in these banks, man, we're seeing what happens. They can lock down on your money, and then these people was lining up. We'll see in a minute, lining up trying to get their deposits, their money back. Now they only have insurance up to $250,000. Most Israelites, we ain't got that much. So, the insurance is going to cover most of the people that lost their money, but them big baller Edomites, their money is gone. They got to figure out how they're going to get the rest of their money. They trying to get the government to, do some solvency and takeovers and insure some of the more other parts of their money, but it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. So, startup founders in California's Bay Area are panicking about access to money and paying employees. Fears of contagion have reached Canada, India, and China. In the UK, SVB's unit is set to be declared insolvent, has already ceased trading, and is no longer taking new customers on Saturday. The leaders of roughly 180 tech companies sent a letter calling on UK Chancellor Jeremy Hunt to intervene. So all of the other related banks that they have relationships with in these other countries are all panicking now too, looking like they're going to be collapsing. Canada, India, China, the UK. Continuing on, quote, the loss of deposits has the potential to cripple the sector and set the ecosystem back 20 years. Well, how do you collapse a country, man? What's America's biggest selling point? The money and the military. M&M. Military is still pretty much solid, but they're spread out over 700 and what is it, 750 countries or 750 bases worldwide. So they're spread out. They've already been funding billions of dollars over there to Ukraine. They're over 100 billion by now. So the military is stressed thin as well. Go back and look at the fall of Rome. What happened to them? Why did Esau lose that aspect of their kingdom? America is falling right in line with them. Now they're looking at their money, their pockets, their ability to self-sustain themselves monetarily. Well, we know even the scriptures tell us money answereth all things, does it not? Isn't that in Ecclesiastes? I think it's 10, but I'm gonna get right to it. It is 10:19. Ecclesiastes 10:19. It says, "A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things." So we know that money is necessary. It's a necessary evil. That's why the scripture says in 1 Timothy 6:10, the love of money is the root of all evil. It ain't the money. The money can't do evil. The money, it's the love of it, the coveting of it, the wicked imaginations of what one can do with money. That's what creates the evil. Now it says, but money is going to answer all things. Well, America is running out of money. They won't have answers for all things. These banks ran out of money. They don't have answers for all things. So what's going to end up happening? Collapse. Let's continue. The loss of deposits has the potential to cripple the sector and set the ecosystem back 20 years. They said in the letter seen by Bloomberg, quote, many businesses will be sent to involuntary liquidation overnight. Did you hear that? Many businesses will be sent to involuntary, meaning unforced liquidation, meaning they're going to have to cash in all their assets in order to survive. They're going to have to liquidate all their assets to get as much cash and money they can to either become insolvent and get out of their business, and their business is going to shut down, or they're going to have to liquidate any and all their assets so they can pay employees, so they can pay and keep the lights on and keep operations going until they can find another bank. But they're clearly saying many businesses is going to be collapsing as well. Look at this. This is just the beginning. SVP had branches in China, Denmark, Germany, India, Israel, and Sweden too. Founders are warning that the bank's failure could wipe out startups around the world without government intervention. If you remember back in 2008, when the bank collapsed because of the housing market collapse, and they had all of them insolvent loans, and people was uh what do they call it? Defaulting on their loans, and housing foreclosure was going down, and the banks was underwater under Obama and Eric Holder, and they said what? The banks is too big to fail. Print up some money and save them. This go around, they're saying no government intervention is going to happen. They're going to let these things collapse. Why? Because they want to bring in a uh, CBDC, new what they calling it? Slow Biden says build back better, but Klaus Schwab says it's a dang. What's his slogan for the World Economic Forum? I just drew a blank. Great reset. Great reset. There it goes. He wants a great reset. So but they're gonna have to start it off. Why? Financially. They want everybody into digitized money, which is going to include your digital ID, the digital your digital bank account, everything. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it is. So all these particular companies are going to be affected by this. China, Denmark, and Germany, India, Israel, Sweden. These other branches that was part of it, that had these branches that was in these other aspects of the world, they're all going to get hit. And they said the government ain't coming to save them. The SVP's joint venture in China, SPD Silicon Valley Bank Company, was seeking to calm local clients overnight by reminding them that operations have been independent and stable. Well, if we remember 6, 8 months ago, maybe even longer than that, when China had their bank run and they put tanks out in front of the banks. Remember that last year? And they told everybody your money is now ours, and we're going to be investing it into their own interest. And all the people they were talking about a new Tiananmen Square, and people running over there to the banks trying to get their money, and it was militarily blocked off. And they told everybody you can't get your money out. Matter of fact, we're going to be using your deposits. I forgot what they was trying to invest it in. I can't remember, but if y'all recall, remember covering that story. This is the type of things that we're into right now. Let's continue on. This is what they talking about. Contagion spreads. Desperate customers line up outside First Republic Bank to take their money out after SVP Bank collapsed and sent shockwaves through the market. So this is a whole nother bank, First Republic Bank in California. They were saying, "Oops, we're not going." Many of the customers said, "We're not getting caught slipping through that. We're going to take we're taking our money out." So as people go rush over there to go withdraw their money out, the banks don't have the money on hand to take all of these deposits. So they're going to be telling everybody, yeah, we got need an IOU. The system's down right now. We can't get you your money." That's going to make people lose their damn minds. And then if everybody takes their money out, closes their accounts, that means another bank is out of here. Look at them. There they go. All the way around the corner. People waiting to get their money out. People are losing faith in the banks, losing faith in America in regards to their financial backing. But our people saying, "What's going on? What happened? I don't know. I don't believe that, man. Everything's going to be fine." All right. Look at this. Looking like a little insider trading knowledge. Silicon Valley Bank employees receive bonuses hours before the government takeover. So the employees, they're getting bonuses while other people are struggling to even get their money out the bank. How fair is that? They can't even get their money out the bank, but the employees got bonuses on their way out the door. Here's a quote from Janet Yellen. She's the Treasury Secretary. What she say? No federal bailout for collapsed Silicon Bank. So this bank is not too big to fail. They're going to let this one fail, along with the others that it's affiliated with, and along with any other these smaller banks. They're going to let all this stuff collapse. So they said, no, the Fed, we're not going to be helping you. No, we're not going to be printing our money because what? America don't even have no money. America is broke. They can't afford to print up no more money. They've committed to military spending only. Slow Biden just put out his little budget proposal on everything he was trying to spend money on. But we'll see as we continue on what's going down. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said Sunday that the federal government would not bail out Silicon Valley Bank, but is working to help depositors who are concerned about their money. So they said, well, we'll come in and we'll just make sure, that you guys are able to get your money. We'll see what we can do. Um, yeah, Khan Carruthers, he's talking about Elon. I did see he was talking about he was open to buying the bank. But we'll see if they even let him do that, man. They gave him hell just over him trying to get Twitter. But definitely, if the proposal is to digitize the bank, they'll definitely be open up to give it to him because that's the route that they want everybody to go. They want everybody doing that. All right. So here it says the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation insures deposits up to 250,000, but many of the companies and wealthy people who use the bank, known for its relationships with technology startups and venture capital, had more than that amount in their account. There are fears that some workers across the country won't receive their paychecks. So that's why I said this is a bank where a lot of the ballers, all the little tech ballers, was dumping their money in, and now they can only get a portion of their deposits as it stands. Yellen, in an interview with CBS Face the Nation, provided few details on the government's next steps, but she emphasized that the situation was much different than the financial crisis almost 15 years ago, which led to bank bailouts to protect the industry. We're not going to do that again, she said, but we are concerned about depositors and we're focused on trying to meet their needs. Yeah, so there you have it. No red, white, and blue flag cape getting put on to save nobody in this situation. Uh, Here's another headline: Business Insider: Silicon Valley Bank imploded in a single day. It could be just the tip of the iceberg. So, according to Business Insider and their research, they're saying that this could be just the beginning. And many of us know and feel it and see it in the spirit that this is just the beginning. One day, a bank gone. Can you imagine? Wells Fargo gone tomorrow. Citibank gone on Tuesday. Bank of America Wednesday. You dig what I'm saying? All the little small student credit unions and all that, they blow up, and then it all gets overtaken by a government that says we're going to switch everything over to a digital monetized system, and you're going to have to cooperate or else you won't survive. Citigroup cuts hundreds of jobs, including an investment in investment banking and mortgage units. So more layoffs are still happening. Even Citigroup, they're dropping some jobs off because they're saying, look, we got to maintain and hold down the fort over here. Staffers in operation technology are also targeted by reduction. CEO has said tech investments can replace manual processes. So, the robot takeover, the AI takeover is happening. I don't know a store that you can't. Well, I ain't gonna say all of them, but many of the stores you see now are going to self checkout. I was just in the where was I at? Michael's fabric store. You know, it's Passover time, trying to get the garments and stuff together. They got. I was looking at the sister that was supposed to be behind the counter. There was no line really. She's supposed to be behind the counter, the register. She doing some other job. So I'm walking over. I'm like, you on the register? She like, you can go to the self checkout over there. It's open. I'm like, oh, okay. There was nobody manning no registers. The few workers that I did see, they was in the aisles doing shelving and all that other stuff. But nobody was holding down the registers. Everybody had to check out on their own. So everything is going manual. You can get out. Let the touch screens do everything for you. So those jobs is going to be scarce too. Once they get these robots and AI programmed to do the shelving and all that, man, Jake's really going to be out of here. So layoffs is happening in the banking sector. Citigroup get hit. This was Friday. This is the um this is the stock market. This is the stock market. This is a grid of all the stocks, popular stocks or whatnot in the on the market, right? Look at Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, ExxonMobil, Tesla, yeah, Google. Do you see anything? You got one, two, a couple in the green, couple in the green. Everything else dead red, dead red. This is where the market was at, man. Everybody on the market everybody in the stock market and all that is looking like, oh snap. And it's been like that damn near off and on for who knows how long. But this week alone was really hit because of the Fed Chair Jerome Powell talking about raising the interest rates again. Um, I think this month. I don't know. He's supposed to be doing it soon. But they talking about raising the interest rates again. All the bank collapses and the layoffs and everything else. Investments, all this stuff is all bad. All bad. So, money answers all things. America ain't got no answers right now. A mile long line for free food offers a warning as those benefits come to an end. Remember, we talked about EBT, SNAP, all the government subsidies that people was getting extra money on they cards for food because of that thing, the 91 DVOC 91. I can't even say that now because they didn't compromise that. The damn fake GMO Jews took that talking about it's a um, Hebrew word meaning something about a damn demon or something. It's some foolishness, man. So now they hyping that up and trying to block the algorithms are saying that. So anyway, mile long line, man. Food line, bread lines. I've been saying this for years on end. Venezuela, Venezuela, Venezuela. Watch Venezuela. This is what's gonna happen to America. If you see any images, you see anything was happening over there in Venezuela, they be having long bread lines, the same type of situation. Who would think that's happening in America now? And most of them is all these damn, broke down, poor white trash Edomites standing in line with no teeth, looking to get some grub. Hazel Green, Kentucky, as he claimed the first spot in a mile-long line for free food in the Appalachian foothills, Danny Blair vividly recalled receiving a letter announcing that his pandemic-era benefit to help buy groceries was about to be slashed. Kentucky lawmakers had voted to end the state's health emergency last spring by default, cutting food stamp benefits created to help vulnerable Americans like Blair weather the worst of the C-19. Instead of $200 a month, he would get just $30. $30 is a little trash Edomite's about to get. You understand? How is he going to survive off of $30? That might get him maybe 3 items in the store right now. The way that inflation is. And don't worry. Oh, the Jake, we getting it too. They said all EBT, all SNAP benefits All of the extra money, if anybody was receiving that, is getting cut. So now, when somebody goes from $200 a month getting extra food for groceries, and now $200 a month, a month, right? $200 a month. That's what, $50 a week. Can somebody survive off of $50 a week in today's economy, in today's uh inflationary budget? $50 a week? Come on. And they cutting that. He said you're gonna get $30 a month. See, this is why Esau leaves their own out there to scrap and struggle, so that Jake's can't say it's all about us. We're being cursed. You dig what I'm saying? Going to your enemy and one all thing. Bucktooth white man gonna come out and say, "Me too. I ain't the only one. You ain't the only one being suffering." Those are casualties of war, man. Esau leaves them out there to hang dry, so they can be left as examples to say, "Hey, you can't say all of us." I made mention of that before. That's how he plays games, man. It's psychological warfare, and these are just sacrificial lambs for Esau's system. He's gonna leave some of them out there. All of them can't eat, so you're gonna have the lowly, downtrodden, trailer park trash. They're gonna be the examples to say, "Hey, we had to sacrifice you so that we can, make sure that we can continue imposing oppression on the Lord's people." I hope you don't mind. Continuing, it says, "I thought, wow, the government is trying to kill us now," said Blair, 63, who survives on Social Security disability check and lives in a mobile home with his wife after their house burned down 5 years ago. "They're going to starve us out." Yeah, get ready. That's from your own people. You wait till the Most High and Yahweh Shai and the angels and the elect of Israel gets a hold of you. If your own people gonna do it to you like that, imagine what's gonna happen when the chosen gets a hold of you. The Most High said we're his battle axes of war. But for now, man, we go ahead and let them uh do each other dirty, man, and we sort out the rest later. This is how we can let them kill each other off. It's all good. Let's continue. Wells Fargo says a quote technical issue causing customers to report missing deposits. Uh-oh. So Wells Fargo all of a sudden had a hack attack. Remember, the cyber attacks is on the way too. People saying they were missing their money, missing deposits, and it was a quote technical issue. Haven't we've been reading about that more and more over the last couple of weeks now. The bank sought to reassure frustrated customers that their accounts remain secure and said it was working to resolve the issue. How confident are people right now after they see the collapse of that uh, Silicon Valley Bank collapse and all its affiliates are now looking like, oh shoot, this is going to happen to us too in their respective countries. And now you see in technical issues of people missing their money. I think it happened to Bank of America not too long ago. Now here they go saying, oops, a technical issue. You might not have that money. That direct deposit that boss said was going to be in there, guaranteed every 2 weeks. That didn't go through. What are we going to do? You got to prepare for the Sabbath. Oh, I got to go shopping. I got to go. You ain't got the money. What do we do? I got to make sure I got some gas in the car in case I got to go congregate, worship. I got to go out and do the work. I got to, oh, can't do it. I ain't got the money in the bank. I got to make sure I got gas in the car in the event of an emergency so I can get up out the house, take the family out to a secure area. Can't do it. Money's not there. These are the type of things, man, brothers and sisters got to think about. All right, continuing on. Walmart will close its final 2 Portland stores and lay off 600 workers after record-breaking thefts in Democrat-led city. So the further collapse of Portland, Oregon is continuing on, man. I was telling the brother up there that that's ground zero for the collapse of America, man. You want to see the future of America? There it is right there, man. Everything's completely collapsing. Drug addicts all over the place. Crime-riddled cities, man. All the damn hippie Edomites out there just trying to think that they're making a difference and holding on to dear life. That's over with. And you know how Jake loved Walmart. And if now the last two Walmarts in Portland are gone, that means Jason gonna have to really go to some low down, traveling out to go to get their groceries and their other goods or whatever they used to get from Walmart. 600 workers now are gonna be laid off already in the destitute area, man. That the economy ain't that booming in Portland as it stands right now. So add 600 more to the fray, and less resources to buy food, goods, and services. Expect more hell to go down up there. Walmart has announced it is permanently closing all its locations in Portland. So maybe you got to drive to what Gresham. I don't know if there's one in Gresham, Oregon, or uh, I don't know any other places in Oregon. But you know, how much further do you got to go to get to a Walmart? Your one-stop shop. That means everybody's going to have to go to maybe some of the more expensive grocery stores that's still open, or maybe some of the rundown ones that you said you would never go to because they got crap stuff over there. Who knows? Uh, and they got other stuff going on up there. I just only had time, got a minute to look at just the Walmart situation, but there's a lot of stuff happening up there. The city's in the midst of a homeless crisis that has confounded city officials. Rising crime and homeless camps have pushed out businesses and residents. So they talking about. That's why I said this is the future of America, man. Homelessness, theft, crime. I mean, Second Ezra tells us all about that, right? Lack of bread, not being able to go into a city, people stealing and robbing from the neighbors, insurrection and sedition amongst men, all to survive, right? So here we go. Let's continue. Look at it. We're done. Gavin Newsom, good old Gavin Gruesome, says California won't be doing business with Walgreens over its abortion pill stance and slams the company for cowering to extremists. So now I guess it's not free market anymore. I guess if these companies and these pharmacies and all that, if they're not involved in politics, if they're not involved with dealing with agenda-driven um, politics, they're going to shut them out of business. Now he didn't. They haven't declared and said what does that mean. We're done doing business. He doesn't have the power to shut down all Walgreens. I don't know. In the article, it didn't. He said that it was unclear on what he meant or what he's going to do. But the fact that Walgreens, to my knowledge, is not a state-owned pharmacy. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm a private-owned business owner and I'm the owner of the franchises of Walgreens, and the damn governor tells me that I can't sell an item in my store, it's no longer free market. I mean, you might as well say it's communist now, or everything is government ran, or what they call it, not uh, communist, or what's the other one? I can't remember. But it's the economy that Venezuela is getting ran by. If you know what I'm talking about, put it in the chat. I can't recall. I'm drawing a blank. Drawing a blank. Too much on the brain. Too much on the brain. But anyway, basically, it's the economy that the government controls and sponsors every damn thing. Socialist. There we go. It came to me. Socialist economy, right? So Walgreens says we ain't selling these abortion pills, which I would applaud them for because that upholds, an aspect of the moral laws of the Most High. Thou shalt do no murder, right? But Gavin Newsom says otherwise, and he says you're an extremist if you stand on being anti-abortion. Gavin Newsom vowed to halt business with Walgreens over abortion pill stance. Newsom claimed on Monday the retail pharmacy sided with extremists. A mifepristone pill makes up half of the combination to induce an abortion. So, now in California, if you're anti-abortion, you're considered an extremist. And you know what that means? That means, oh, we're going to have to start monitoring their actions. their ideologies, their affiliations, look at their bank account, look what they're involved in, so forth and so on. That's what we talked about with Prism and talking about all the tech stuff we just talked about on Friday. Israelites, I mean, we're already being labeled as black identity extremists. And now if we hold a biblical perspective, oh, they're biblical extremists too now. Oh, double whammy. Oh, and they're a hate group, by the way. You understand? So they're just adding more charges on the Jakes, you know. And now Walgreens is going to have to pay the price for saying we're not supporting abortion pills. This is important too. Look at this. House Republicans are reportedly getting ready for the U.S. to default as the debt ceiling draws closer. So what does this mean? We talked about it a few weeks ago. The debt ceiling means that America has reached its debt capacity, is running out of money. It can't pay off its debts. They're running their households like niggas. Running their households like niggas. Why I say that, man? In Sirach 14:3 says, "Riches are not comely for a niggard, and what should an envious man do with money?" So why is riches not comely for a nigga? Because he does not regard, doesn't understand how to balance out his finances, how to, create income for his household and take care of everything. So it's not desirable for him. He squanders money, whatnot. So America is running their household just like a nigga. This place is always collapsing, man. Now it's saying they can't pay their bread. I mean, they can't pay their. I'm reading the scripture. Because it says a wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. Always looking to get what isn't his. Uh, but anyway, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But long story short, America is running out of money and they can't pay their bills. The debt ceiling is already over $30 trillion in debt, and they telling you, because you're late on paying your phone bill or your gas bill, you need to break up in payments, or because you haven't paid off your tax debts. That you're bad, and we're gonna have to wipe your hit your credit report up, so you can't go out and you can't buy a home, you can't buy a car, you can't qualify to for this particular loan or whatever the case may be, because you don't know how to balance your finance and you've got a bad report and bad record with us. And then you look at them and you saying, well, what about your record? You're over $30 trillion in debt. You got all these other countries out here buying up bonds, basically like IOUs that you pay off if they buy your debt and say, "Well, I'll invest in your debt, man. I'll help you, pay it off, but you're gonna have to pay me this. I'm gonna, secure these bonds." And now they're saying, we can't even pay you guys back, and we can't pay our other debts off." They said that America's supposed to have enough money to run the country until June, and it might be sooner than that. Might run out of money before that. So their options are raise the debt ceiling, meaning open up a whole new line of credit and tell the Federal Reserve, are we good on another 10 trillion? Yeah, send that over here and we'll go. We're good for it. We'll pay you off. Add more debt, which means more inflation, higher prices, more companies collapse, and the whole nine. If they go beg and say we need more money, right now they don't really have an answer what's going to happen if they do default. I don't think there's ever. I don't know if they've ever been in that position. I could be wrong that America defaulted on a debt, but we're going to see in a minute. It says as the U.S. creeps ever closer to a devastating debt default, which would immediately spiral the country and likely the world into a financial crisis. So remember, we just got to reading that article earlier. The headline that said that the SVB bank collapsed in one day, and this could be just the beginning. Now we're hearing about America running into a financial debt crisis where they can't pay their bills and defaulting on their loans, and it could affect the whole world economy. Why? Because the world operates off of the dollar. The dollar is the world reserve currency. If the dollar fails, everybody else that's dependent upon the dollar fails. This is why we talked about on Friday about China, Brazil, India, South Africa, The BRICS economies, also with Saudi Arabia and Iran applying to get down, are trying to break free from the dollar and proposing a new economy for everybody else. But before they do that, they're going to collapse everything. And Klaus Schwab and his buddies are going to say, no, no, don't worry. We got a whole new CBDC system lined up. You don't have to go to them heathen over there. We got it. Okay. Let's continue. So it says, um, it could likely put the world into a financial crisis. Republicans aren't preparing to negotiate, they're preparing emergency measures. As the Washington Post reported on Wednesday, Republican lawmakers on the House Ways and Means Committee will hold a panel on Thursday to discuss debt prioritization, in which the government would prioritize paying certain obligations over others should the U.S. default on its debt. Well, yeah, isn't that what Jakes do? We be trying to figure out which bill is more important. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put a little bit down on my phone bill, and put a little bit down over here on my cable bill, and put a little bit down over here, but I have to pay my car note. So, that's exactly what's going on. America's trying to run their houses. Now they're seeing what it's like to live like Israel. The curses. You understand what I'm saying? That's why the Most High said He's going to put a curse over this place. Uh, in Micah, I said, no, is it Micah? Hold on, let me see. Not Micah. Where am I thinking about? Uh, Nothing. Hold on. I'm drawing a blank in my mind. Is it Give me 1 second, y'all. Slacking. I can't remember the scripture. It just popped in my head in the spirit, and now I'm getting lost on it. Not Amos, Joel. Is it Zephaniah? No, not Zephaniah. Hold on. It's on the tip of my tongue too, and I'm tripping. Maybe it's Zechariah. Zechariah 5, I believe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. Zechariah 5. Zechariah 5. So lucky, y'all. Here we go. So reading up top, we'll read 1 and 2. So it says, Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length of it is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Right? So Zechariah seeing the chariot. He's seeing this flying roll in the sky, about the size of a football field. Verse 3, it says, Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it. Well, where and how did America gain all of these lands? Colonizing and stealing. From lands to ideas to inventions to reputations to identities. Hello? Everyone that stealeth is going to be cut off, right? And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith Yahweh, the power of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. So the curse is going to go over the whole earth. The judgment is going to go into the house of the thief. Well, we know who the house of the thief is. What nation steals everything? And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. Oh, in God we trust. Do we see that? And he swears falsely by the name. Not that that's the name of the Most High, but he swears falsely as if he stands on so-called Christian values. You hear the white man and all these little patriotic Edomites talking about America was founded on Judeo-Christian principles. Yeah, what? Since when? It was founded on rape, murder, robbery, theft, lies, broken covenants, um, slaughter of the innocents. You understand what I'm saying? What are you talking about? Judeo-Christian values. Falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of the house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So this place is going to be consumed with the timber and the stones. It's going to be a heap at the end of the day. So now what they're seeing to understand what it is to be cursed, they getting hit in their pockets. They trying to figure out, well, we're going to prioritize. We're going to pay this instead of paying this, and I'm gonna just have to pay the late fee on that. Yeah, they living just like a Jake would now. They don't feel too good, huh? You don't like it, huh? That's how we live all the time. Let's continue. But this is going to be heavily impactful on the rest of the world if America can't pay its bills. Look at this. Just in case we need a little education on it, it says, what is a U.S. debt default? So just we get to understand, it says, at its most basic level, a default is when a person or an entity cannot repay a debt on time. For instance, when a person cannot make a payment on a mortgage or a car loan. So we get that clear. America's got debts. They can't pay their debts on time. But they got no problem coming and repossessing your car. You understand what I'm saying? They got no problem cutting your credit card off or whatever the case may be. They got no problem slapping that notice on your door saying you're evicted. You got 3 days to get out, or sheriffs are coming. They ain't got no problem telling you this house is in foreclosure. Now the bank owns it. Get out. See, when they do it, oh, we'll figure it out. Don't worry. We can't lose it all. When we do it, all hell breaks loose. When a country does this, it's known as a sovereign default. This is when the country cannot repay its debt, which typically takes the form of bonds. So if the US were to default, it would essentially stop paying the money it owed US Treasury bondholders. A quick refresher, the US government spends more money than it collects in taxes. So to make up for the shortfall, it raises funds by asking investors to buy US Treasury bonds. Investors such as the Chinese government and pension funds do this because these bonds are seen as a safe place to invest money. So they sell bonds. People, these outside companies and entities and pension funds buy the debt, and they say, you know what, America be good for it. They'll slowly, they'll pay us off slowly but surely. So they get their little stipend money paying off these bonds as securities. So America still has secure debt, but they spend more than they buy. So who's responsible in regards to economic savings and all that other stuff? They live just like a Jake, man, living above their means, running around buying and renting cars and jewelry and all kind of stuff. Got these expensive cars and got less than a quarter tank of gas in it. You understand what I'm saying? And then doing Lord knows what to get the money to make sure that you can try to maintain that lifestyle. A lot of sisters out there prostituting themselves just to, maintain this little lifestyle. Brothers out there rob, stealing, and killing and, selling dope or whatever they got to do to maintain this little lifestyle. Penitentiary chances is what they call it. So America ain't no different. America just says, you know what? If all hell breaks loose, man, I'm just gonna go to war. They're going straight to bully mode. Anybody wants their money, come try and get it. So here's the consequences. No one really knows exactly what would happen, but the likelihood is that the markets around the world would plunge and global interest rates would rise. So this could be uncharted waters if America defaults on their debt and they can't pay it off. You understand? So it's saying nobody knows, but the likelihood is that the worldwide global market would plunge and global interest rates would rise. Now, think about it. If they're talking about doing a great reset for the world, if they're talking about building back better America, wouldn't it make sense to just go ahead on and let everything collapse? If their ideology is we're going to, hit a reset on this whole thing, we're going to build it back better. Don't worry. So the likelihood, based upon their ideology and what they're putting out, to me, sounds like they want and they will allow everything to crash and burn. And the carnage is going to be crazy. Let's continue. This is because if the US government could not repay the money it owed bondholders, the value of the bonds would decrease and the yield, the return the government pays to an investor would rise. This is because it would be perceived as a less safe investment. This would prompt interest rates around the world, which are often tied to the U.S. to those U.S. treasuries to spike. So we're already dealing with heavy interest rates right now. This is why bank loans, car loans, mortgages, everything is up so high right now, unaffordable. This is why the food prices is what it is. It's why the gas is what it is, the cost of living, etc. This is why these banks are collapsing because the interest rates are too high. So now they're saying if the US default, this is going to get even worse. But globally, continuing on, it says furthermore, the impact of the US's creditors would be dire. Japan, for instance, owns about 1.14 trillion of US debt, which is equivalent to 20% of its annual economic input. So 20% of their economic input, they're relying upon the US paybacks. So if America defaults and says we can't pay you back, Japan, 20% of their annual income or their economic output is going to get crushed. In the U.S., Goldman Sachs estimates 175 billion would immediately be withdrawn from the U.S. economy, and it could lead to a very deep recession. That's the possibilities of what could happen if America doesn't pay out their debt. And what did we just see earlier? The Republicans are getting ready for the U.S. to default. So they're out there in the open saying, we're about to crash and burn, and we're going to get ready. So put two and two together, y'all. We'll see what happens. Now look at this. Biden wants better support for student loans. Um, well, if we remember, didn't he say last year when he was going up for reelection, when he was trying to get that uh the primaries in November? He needed those votes, so he told everybody with student loans, yeah, we got it approved. Don't worry. 10,000 cut off your debt. 25 over here if you had this type of loan. Vote me back in. I got you covered. Has that kicked in yet? No, no, that has not happened. Another lie by slow Biden. And why he can't even do it because they ain't even got no money to support taking off all of this debt. How they gonna pay back any of these federal agencies? They're gonna just say, you know what, hey, y'all gonna be out of this money. It is what it is. And they're telling people you got to start paying back those loans because of the pandemic. There was a lot of delays and deferments with paying back student loans. That's another reason why people had money. I've been watching another dude. What's this guy's name? Some Edomite man. Because I seen this I think it's NBC's got a show called Greed, and I seen this show, and they was talking about this couple that Jake couple. One dude, he was a DJ. The other sister, I forgot what she was into. But nonetheless, they come together, some little power couple, um, and they started this thing. I know some of y'all may know about it. The gifting flower and all them little pyramid schemes with getting people to come in and you invest some money in and they got a big pot in the middle and eventually your name gets called and you're going to get the money, but you can only get closer to the pot if you keep recruiting more people in. It's a big old pyramid scheme, right? So they had this whole big old thing going on. Um, and the end results is bottom line, they had millions of dollars in months. And people were saying, I've been sitting in here recruiting. I've been investing more money into this thing. I haven't got my name called. You was guaranteeing I was going to get this. And, they played on everybody's faith, calling it the blessing something. They had their own rule book. They called the blessing Bible or something like that. It was some wild stuff going on. These two was into. I say all that to say is because they were preying on um, their businesses all kind of got slowed down because of the pandemic. So they came out with this new hustle, and it really wasn't a new hustle because there was a lot of them little pyramid schemes, gifting flowers, and all those things. Oh, it goes back to West Africa, and you know, Now, if you got people that you know, I've seen it work for people that are kind of in a tight knit family community. But when you going out there and you recruiting other people and you telling them bring more people in, this that's when it becomes a scheme. But if families are interchanging and they got, it's 5 or 6 family members and they got their own pot and everybody gets paid, what everybody gets paid at their time, throughout the year. I've seen it work in that fashion. But these other schemes, they were saying they were preying on people's stimulus money. They were saying $1,300 to enter in, and that was just the amount that everybody was getting on their stimulus money. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm gonna let y'all go in a minute. $1,300 start you off, and they will flip it to $11,000 in a certain amount of time. So of course, everybody, people quitting their jobs, people lost their jobs because of the pandemic. They got their little stimulus, and it was hot money in their hands. Said, man, let me just gamble this. And they were telling everybody, don't say anything on social media, don't do this, that, and the third. It's just between us, but still recruit privately because they didn't want it to go online because once it went online, people start investigating. So eventually they end up getting busted. Long story short. But there's so many of these damn hustlers out here, man, and these silver tongue um, people out here, man, scamming everybody. I haven't seen so many, and I'm not saying everybody's scamming, but there's a lot on the internet, man, because they know people had some money. Even Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, he said, "We know you've got savings." Last year, he was talking about the interest rates and all of that. He said, "Yeah, unemployment isn't where we need it to be. There's going to be some some uh some hard cuts going on, basically talking about layoffs and all of that." And he said, "We know you've got savings. We're going to need to, get into that too." So he was talking about, we know your money's because what the banks are reporting their savings and their deposits, saying, "Oh, people got a lot of money in savings. We need to get at that too. We need to completely break them." So people using they was using that stimulus money. I ain't even seen so many damn people popping out of nowhere. All of a sudden, all these investment gurus is popping up out of nowhere. All these jakes all know about stocks all of a sudden. Everybody's financial planners. Everybody is turning into life coaches and everything else. Everybody got a damn seminar. I mean, some of y'all will remember the late night infomercials with somebody on there, like for instance, like Tony Robbins, and I only remember him because I used to work for this little telemarketing company. They used to work with all of the infomercials, and people, they was buying and selling, perfect ab machines and was it exercise machine, them infomercial people selling products or whatever. There was one guy, Tony Robbins, he was doing personal power, motivational speakings and all that. You buy his DVDs and he had seminars. He was getting money. Tony Robbins has made multi millions of dollars off of that. How successful it was, who knows? But it's those types. I remember he used to be this little Moabite, and he used to talk about want to make money like me, and he'd be sitting on the damn boat surrounded by white women. And he talking about how his investments. That used to be like late night scams. There's a Reverend Popoff, it's Edomite, selling holy water. Talking about buy this holy water, you're gonna be blessed and you're gonna be healed and doing all kind of foolishness. Those same individuals now don't have to buy time on the infomercial at 1 o'clock in the morning. They got YouTube channels now that people watch them and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go get this money," because people got stimulus money and all these people that was owing all this money that they was paying for student loans, the defaults on the student loans. So let's just say you were paying $300 a month on your student loans. That's an extra $300 you have from there. Oh, and you got the uh rent reprisals or whatever they had, where people wasn't paying rent for damn near a year or 2 years. So you save money on your rent. You save your money on your student loans. You got the stimulus money. So it was Jakes out there, and not just Jakes, Edomites, all of them out there preying on people, saying, "Oh, everybody got money now. I need to get at that." And there's still a lot of them out there devouring jakes. There's a bunch of jakes now sitting back there saying, I got scammed. I ain't get my money. Oh, this didn't work. I had to sign this agreement that I couldn't even speak about, the lack of success that I got. They said I was going to get. That's a whole nother thing. Sorry to go off on a tangent, but that just gets under my skin when I see people just get hustled and they just don't even see that that ain't it. That ain't it. Slow Biden hustled all the just hustled all these damn people for votes. Told everybody, "Oh, you gonna get your student loan? I got you covered." But now, what's he say? Biden wants to better support student loan borrowers who are returning the repayment. So now he says not only that debt uh the what was the debt relief for the loans, the $10,000 for some and 20 up to 25 for others. That hasn't got approved and they ain't got that. But guess what? Slow Biden said that money's got to get turned. You got to start paying that money back. It's further confirmation the payment pause will end this year. So all the money, hopefully everybody that was saving money on student loans, man, you did something good with it because he wants it all back now. It ain't gonna be no debt relief because America again ain't got no money. But let's continue. India's oil deals with Russia dent decades old dollar dominance. So India making oil deals with Russia. Remember, Brazil, India, Russia, China, South Africa, the BRICS, they're all in cahoots together and they're breaking away from the dollar. So now the world's reserve currency being the dollar, as it shows more trouble that they're in right now because now India is showing that they're going to help strengthen Russia and their economy. So the sanctions that slow Biden is doing, it does not matter. It's not even denting their economic infrastructure. They're cool. The dollar is getting hurt. Further proof that America is going to be falling out of power. U.S. weekly jobless claims post largest rise in 5 months. Labor market still tight. That's not good news for the economy because the Federal Reserve says the less jobs, the better for inflation. So now if they're saying jobs is up and it's great, that means they're going to have to tighten up the reins, go back pushing this interest rates up even more. Don't look for any food and goods and service prices to go down no time soon. Because as long as people are working, as long as people have money to float into the economy, inflation is going to be crazy. So they're saying, well, we're going to have to raise the prices of everything so people spend less money. And we're going to make sure that people get laid off or fired. So jobless claim. This is what one of the reasons why that grid that I showed y'all about the stock market looked like it did. Because once they do that and they see the interest rates go up, they know all businesses are going to suffer. All the market gets shook. People start taking their money out. They start selling off. Everything goes red and all bad. Payrolls rose 311,000 in February, more than expected, showing solid growth. So anytime you see them, again, that's not good news for the overall perspective of our daily lives with interest because that means the Fed is going to take action. So more hard times to come. In other words, it's good for those who got jobs and everybody that's able to sustain their families, but it's just going to make it even more costly to live. 160,000, 60,315,000 record number of Americans are employed in February. That's a record number. They was not hoping for that. They was hoping it was the other way around. More people laid off and starving. So that means they're going to really do some panic button pushing pretty soon to really make life hard on all of us. Japan takes the gloves off and boosts military spending in the face of China's ambitions on Taiwan. So, just flashing back to Friday, all the major nations preparing for war. Japan has jumped in. They've boosted their military spending. They're getting ready for what the conflict or the eventual conflict of China, Taiwan, America is all coming down the pipeline. Japan is getting ready. We've seen China. They up their military budget 200 over $200 billion, investing in all kind of military stuff from nukes to anti aircraft missiles, all kind of stuff. We seen that Friday. So Japan, they're getting ready. Gun massacre at a German Jehovah Witnesses church. So, the heinous crimes of killing the people, the uprisings of uproars of the people continues on. So the church is getting shot up in Germany. German's Jehovah Witness church uh, by a former member leaves 8 dead, including the shooter and dozens wounded. The killer fired through the window, then stormed the building during Bible study meeting. Wonder what he was mad about. An ex-member goes to the church and shoots up. Can you imagine when these jakes wake up or continue waking up and they realize the pastor has been compromised and has agreed to lie to them about their salvation all this year? You might have somebody, some of these unstable ones, man, might run up in there. We used to say that back in the day, man, when Jake wake up and find out, man, they've been lied to all these years and had pastors and preachers promoting sin and wickedness and breaking the laws of God and telling them it's okay, don't worry, jeopardizing their salvation. We said, man, they're gonna be hanging these cats on the light poles, saying, "Why did you tell me this, man? I had no idea you was trying to not get me salvation. You was gonna get me put to death." Who knows what happened over there? But mass shooting over there in Germany. Jehovah Witnesses catching L's. Look at China announces a lockdown plans for the flu. No longer they worried about the other thing, just the flu itself. And where do they always get the blueprint from? I mean, where does America always get the blueprint from for anything like this? They've already added the I'm trying to think of a good word. They already added the experimental medicines. You know what I'm talking about? That they put it when you roll your sleeve up. They already added that to the vaccine regimen as part of requirements for jobs, schools, so forth and so on. That's already been mandatory. It's already locked in. Now it's going to come around like normal flu shots. Make sure you got your other shot too. Double up. So everything started over here in China. And what they do? They was locking down, they was doing everything, and then what happened over here? Follow suit. What they doing over there in China? Locking down? Okay, quarantine, mask, gloves. Oh, okay, we're gonna do the same thing. So is it? All hell's gonna break loose here. People say for the flu? Hell no. People's already rebelling now. Deep regrets for following the protocols and rolling up their sleeves. Mad that they did it. You know, feeling liberated now that they can snatch the mask off and run out. You know, But now in China, man, they ain't playing. They said just for the flu, they're locking down. Officials spark fury by warning areas may be shut down to quell outbreaks of the common virus. The city of Jiang in Shanxi province in central China said it may enforce lockdowns when necessary if an outbreak of the common flu virus poses a severe threat. Imagine that. This is the type of protocols that they're wavering on trying to create on a global scale. How comfortable are they in lockdowns? Will they submit? Will they do it? Yeah, they did it. Okay. How much are they willing to bend and break? I mean, can it be for the minorest thing that they'll say okay? Or does it have to only be major? China says, we'll find out. We'll do a minor thing. Let's find out if everybody's going to comply. If it's the flu, okay, let's see if they'll comply and lock down. So if they do it, yeah, it worked. That's what they call a social experiment. Yeah, it worked. Okay, tell the rest of the world controllers, man. Yeah, they'll do it. The human brain, the human mind, the Stockholm syndrome, they'll do it. So let's see. But they catching hell over there in China. Look at this. China pummeled by rainworms. Shout out to the Robinson family. They sent me this. China pummeled by rain. I mean, what in the world is going? This look like slugs. Those are worms that you seeing on them cars. China pummeled by rain of worms as residents asked to carry umbrellas. I mean, good lord. When have y'all ever seen that? Anybody ever seen that before? Look at it. Moab is my wash, but Psalm 60 and 8. Moab is my wash pot. Overeating will I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph thou because of me. Man, Moab is the dirty, the wash pot of the Lord. I mean, come on. Raining worms. Good Lord. But that's what they get. Why? Second Ezra 15. We read this before. Let's read it one more time. Uh, yeah, let's read this right here. Second Ezra 15:46 run on down. And thou, Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon and art the glory of her person. Well, didn't we just read that China is one of the biggest investors of American debt? They're partakers in the hope of Babylon. They want to carry on the legacy. China thinks they're going to be next. They double dipping, man. They over here supporting America, propping them up, and at the same time plotting against them, scheming with Russia. Either way, they're trying to increase the hopes of Babylon and the white man's kingdom, and trying to be the glory of her person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. So that's why China's over here colonizing in Africa. They're dipping and dabbling over here with Russia, Brazil, Venezuela. They're trying to accumulate their own lovers, man. They want to be the new hoe on the strip. But America's still that old queen, man, is the madam that runs the whole brothel. You know what I'm saying? They think China wants to be, come up and be the new hoe on the block. No. What's the Most High going to do? It says, thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore, saith the Most High, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. Pestilence, poverty, famine. Look at it. Raining worms. Where are these worms coming from? And they telling people go out, make sure you bring your umbrella. Not for the water, for worms dropping out the sky. That can only come from the Most High. Chinese food, anyone? FDA approves Pfizer nasal spray for migraines that relieves symptoms in 15 minutes and will be in pharmacies by June. Oh, how exciting. After we seen everything that went down with Pfizer, is anybody eager to jump in and get ready to start snorting up this nasal spray? Any takers? I mean, who knows what they're gonna be piling in people's nostrils, man. I'll pass on that one. Whatever other uh methods to get rid of a migraine, man, give me that. Pfizer Zavigipant, sold under brand name Zavpret, was approved on Thursday for the treatment of acute migraine with or without aura in adults, the New York-based company said. So now they want to go ahead and give you something to snort up. You want in on that? With their reputation? Who knows what's going to go up in your brain? Who knows what they're going to be No, thank you. No, thank you. Elkanah, so y'all didn't get the notification. Well, leave it to YouTube. You know how that works. You know how that works, man. They ain't trying to allow that to happen at all. So, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell y'all, man. It is what it is on that one. But shalom to y'all, man. Who else am I missing in the house? 33.9% of people in South Carolina. Good Lord. Can you imagine? Hold on. Let me entertain some of these comments because y'all posting some real good information. Elkanah, some of the brothers was looking for what's the name too. If you got any information on the passing out of the flyers, being a felony out there in Florida, pass it along, man, so I can get that out there. So I can get that out there. Mega Man, shalom, shalom, my brother. Uh, Yeah, that's a good one. Good precept for sure. Everything's coming down, man. Collapsing for sure. 33, almost 34% of people can't pay their rent right now. Where they gonna be at? They're gonna be out there on them streets, man. They're gonna be out there on those streets. All bad. All bad. All right, let's get back to the things at hand. You said raining fish in Australia. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. Let's look on though. FDA approves nasal spray, man. I'm cool on that. I'm cool on that. Let's continue. House votes unanimously to declassify intelligence on the origin of that thing for the pandemic. Oh, so more truth is gonna come out, man. They coming after it. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out what happened with this thing. We'll see if YouTube repents and Facebook repents for everybody that they was coming after, speaking on that thing. But I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna let that slide because you know how they do. Look at it. Blackstone to acquire Ancestry.com for 4.7 billion. Blackstone is an investment firm. Why would an investment firm in the financial sectors? Why do they want access to Ancestry.com? Why do they want access to everyone who's utilized the service's DNA? Blackstone to acquire Ancestry.com for 4.7 billion. Let's see. Let's just see what they do professionally. Hold tight. Hold tight. Let's just see. Blackstone Investment Group. Blackstone is the world's largest alternative asset manager with $975 billion. We serve institutional and individual investors by building strong businesses that deliver lasting value. So, we see what they are. They're an investment group creating portfolios. Is a portfolio of companies dedicated to providing products and services to the commercial, airline, and recreational product industries. Blackstone Investment Group was founded in 2000 and is a majority veteran-owned business. I don't know if that's the same one, but they're involved in all kind of. If that's the same thing, yeah, they involved in assets, real estate, the whole nine. But now this particular company, they want and have now purchased access to everyone's DNA who's used Ancestry.com. What are they going to compromise and use it for? Are they going to use it? Or are they just trying to use it to help promote the business? Or they just looked at it as a great investment that they can make money of and help further the technology because they want everybody to know where they come from. You think that's what they want? Or could there be a alternative to why they want access to this information? Blackstone to acquire Ancestry.com for 4.7 billion, giving investment firm total ownership of all DNA from every person who's ever used the service. Be careful where you let your DNA go out there for. Israel always looking for answers. We want to find out who we are. Just the intrigue of where do I come from? Who am I? Swabbing out, giving them access to your DNA, man. When 60 Minutes already did a special, they was talking about much of the technology is flawed. It's not exact. That's why they only give you percentages. Or you're 5% Indonesian, 15% West African, 30% European. You saying, well, where, what, when, what tribe, who? Well, we can't pin it down to an exact science, but we could say your paternal line comes from. And I remember they had a brother on 60 Minutes. I don't know if any of y'all seen that. He came out and said that it was off. And that, they're guessing. They don't know. They don't have exacts on anything. Okay, all praises, man. Any of y'all looking for that bill? I know some of y'all was talking about it. Some of y'all reached out, asked me about it. There it is right there. HB 269 bill. Let's see here. HB 269. Florida. Well, let's see. Here we go. All right. Public nuances. Is that what they're calling it? This prohibits a person from distributing onto private residential property any material that evidences religious or ethnic animus for purposes of intimidating or threatening the owner or the resident. Wow. Prohibits a person from willfully or maliciously harassing, threatening, or intimidating another person based on persons wearing or displaying of any indicia relating to any religious or ethnic heritage. Oh my goodness, look at that. It says it is. Hold on, man. This is wild. This is wild. I know it's kind of small, y'all, and the way that it's written is hard for me to blow it up so y'all can see it good. But just follow along. This is it. .gov, Florida State Senate. It's not cap. It's real deal. House Bill 269. We veering off. We veering off, y'all. Put your seatbelts on. We making a hard left right now because this is important. It's gonna be effective 10/1/23 this year in Florida. Now, let's read this one more time. It says the public nuances prohibits a person from distributing onto private residential property any material that evidences religious or ethnic animus for purposes of intimidating or threatening the owner or resident. So that's kind of ambiguous and subjective, man. They saying that you can't go door to door at anybody's private residence with any religious material with the purposes of intimidating or threatening the owner or resident. So that's subjective. You know, if brothers passing out some literature at somebody's house or whatever the case may be, going through an apartment complex and saying you're the chosen people of God, blah blah blah. The rest of it, if you don't, repent, you're gonna get put to death. They could perceive that as being threatening or intimidating. You go there and talk about 2/3 shall be cut off and die, they're gonna say, "Hell no, you threatening me? You trying to kill me?" I can see where they can flip that. It said it also prohibits. Let's slide back over here. Prohibits a person from willfully and maliciously harassing, threatening, or intimidating another person based on persons wearing or displaying of any indicia relating to any religious or ethnic heritage. So it prohibits a person from willfully and maliciously harassing, threatening, or intimidating another person. So it's also saying that I guess it's a protection from anybody who's wearing or displaying religious or ethnic heritage. So you got your fringes on, you got your, sister dressed modestly, whatever. It's supposed to prohibit anybody from willfully, maliciously, or harassing, threatening, or intimidating somebody based upon you wearing your holy garments. It says it prohibits willful and malicious defacement, injury, or damage to a certain property, removes minimum damage requirement for violation, blah, 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 blah. Prohibits display, projection images onto a building. Prohibits display or projection of images onto a building, structure, property without permission. Prohibits willfully entering the campus of State University of Florida College System institution for purposes of threatening or intimidating another person and remaining after being warned to depart. Prohibits interference with certain assemblies, requires that certain violations be reported as hate crimes. So that pretty much lets you know that you can't go on no college campuses trying to spread the truth. They're gonna say it's a hate crime. You've been told leave. You can't pass out that. I can see all of that here. I can see all of them, narrowing that down for our people. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, y'all want any further information on it? Look into it yourself. We just kind of briefly went over it. We're seeing where it's going through in the Congress, but it said it's going to be effective October 1st, 2023. You can't go to private residential areas or properties passing out no literature. Any material that evidences religious or ethnic animus for the purposes of intimidating. So you know they already got the Hebrew Israelites as an intimidating hate group, so forth and so on. So anything that we do is automatically going to be lumped into this category. CS House Bill 269. Y'all interested? Check it out. The water for that, brother. All right, let's get back over here. Look at this. There's another one. There's another one. Louisville. I mean, what's going on in Kentucky, man? We just covered, but I talked about the police force in East Cleveland under heavy investigation. Multiple cops getting fired for corruption. Isn't it Kentucky where uh, 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 Breonna Taylor got killed by these cops? Look at this. A Louisville police officer. If you're from Kentucky, I know it's Louisville, but I'm from LA, so it's Louisville. A Louisville police officer that let his dog attack a 14-year-old black child who was not resisting. As the dog gnawed on the child's arm, the officer says, "Stop fighting my dog." DOJ said in the bombshell report. See, that's how they do our people, man. And that's how they get away with the abuses of our people. They always say the key words, stop resisting, stop resisting. And that just is, they yell that loud as they're breaking your arm, breaking your finger, choking you out, beating you upside the head, macing you in the face. And as long as they yell out, stop resisting, oh, it's on camera. The witnesses heard he was resisting. This is why they was allowed to continue beating somebody to death. That's just keyword for protection for them to do what they want. How's a 14-year-old fighting a dog that's chewing off his damn arm as he's letting him tear him apart, man? Oh, uh, there's a scripture on that. 14-year-old kid, man, getting gnawed on by a damn dog. The cop has more protection to tell him stop fighting my dog. My dog. Goddamn bastard. Isaiah 5:25. Therefore is the anger of Yahweh kindled against his people, and he hath stretched forth his hand against them, and have smitten them, and the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets. Tell me the Bible ain't real, man. Carcass being torn in the midst of the street. Dog is gnawing. Let's go back. Dog is gnawing and tearing this kid's arm apart. And the damn cop says, stop fighting the dog. Stop resisting. Let him bite you. Let him feast on your arm. What's wrong with you? And it says the kid's not resisting. The Department of Justice got this report. Let's see what they do about it. But let's go back to the scripture. Let's read it again. And this is all because the Most High said, man, Israel, we're gonna pay the price for our rebelliousness. But see, Esau helps forward the affliction. That's why the Most High said he's upset with him, because when the justice is, well, when he's sitting back supposedly doing justice, he's allowing even more to go on, more corruption, more scandal, more death, and he's forwarding the affliction. Kid's not resisting, but he's letting the dog keep tearing his arm up. Therefore is the anger of the Most High Yahweh kindled against his people, and he hath stretched forth his hand against them, and hath smitten them, and the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is still stretched out. See, the Most High still has mercy on his children. He's still allowing us grace to turn back and repent. But the so-called white man says, no, come on back. Come back to hell. Come back and live amongst me and mine, and live deliciously with the rest of the heathen, and drink the wine of the wrath or the fornication of Babylon. Go down with the ship. And our people are choosing to go down with the ship all the time. Lamentations 4. It says, they hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. Our persecutors are swifter than eagles in the heavens. They come down fast, man, hard, tearing our people up. They hunting our steps. We can't go on the streets without looking over our backs, constantly being nervous. You could have a registered car insurance, up to date seatbelt on, driving the speed limit, a whole nine, man, and the police get behind you. You still sweating bullets and nervous as hell because you don't know. Man, they're gonna pull me over. They're gonna make up some BS. They're gonna talk about my tail lights out. I know it's not out. Then as soon as I put up a fuss with them, they yank me out the car, beat the hell out of me, lock me up, and talking about I was resisting, all because you was driving normal. They run up on you. You seem pretty nervous. You all right? What's going on? Can I search you? What's that? You like, damn, yeah, I'm nervous because I don't know what you're gonna do. Hunting our steps, man. So there you have it, man. Our people getting torn up in these streets by these damn heathens and the police. Let's continue. Look at this. Texas Tech coach Mark Adams resigns just 3 days after being suspended for reciting Bible verses to a player that referred to slaves serving their masters. Well, didn't I cover that not too long ago about the slave Bible? I mean, Esau's still using it. He's already got the operatives in the churches, man. They've already went, already submitted to it. They're already going along with the script, man. That is damn me to my coach. Gonna tell us black players, man, slaves, be obedient to your masters. It's the Texas Tech basketball coach. He had to resign, not fired, resign. And you know his contract. I'm sure he's getting paid full. So what big deal? I'm sure he's got a decent little contract, got some cash on hand. He's gonna lay low for a little while, come out and do some press conference talking about it. It was taken out of context. I didn't mean it, blah, 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 blah. And then he's gonna get hired at another job sometime in the near future. If he's a winning coach. I don't know how good Texas Tech basketball is. But if he ain't good anyway, man, he's out of here anyway. I mean, he's 66. Him as long as his old bag of bones gonna be around, he gonna probably take the money and he gonna float off somewhere and retire. But the fact that he come out still trying to utilize old Christian slavery rhetoric, Christianity, pulling out the Bible and beating Jakes over the head, saying servants be obedient to your masters. He tried that old school trick on him. Esau's a trip, man. So-called white man is a damn fool. But there he goes. All right, let's continue on. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, 81, is rushed to the hospital after tripping and falling during dinner at the Waldorf Astoria in D.C. Look at this damn heathen, man. Look at his face. This guy is leading the. Ca- Hold on. I don't know if y'all can see that good. This is one of the more powerful men in America right now, man. Look at his face. Looking all paranoid and nervous. Looking just ridiculous. And what's wrong with these Edomites, man? Falling and stumbling all over the dang place. Hold on. What happened here? Uh-oh. Uh, Falling and stumbling all over the place. Speaking of that, you know your boy did it again. You know your boy did it again on his trip to Alabama. Now we seen him in Poland last month. Now he's on a trip to Alabama. Careful, Joe. Hey, whoa, whoa, hold on. You all right? Look, you know I'm always gonna get this damn devil. Uh, Notice him walking slow, holding on to the railing because he needs that stability. You know he's all off. Soon as he lets go, he gets a stumbling. This is the most powerful man in the world, man. Got the keys to the nukes, the codes, and everything else, man. And this dude is up here stumbling up the stairs again. He holding on. He was holding on to that railing. That's when he lost it. Dude, can he walk up the stairs without holding on to a railing? His buddy, Mitch McConnell, he's falling all over the place and gets hospitalized. Who? Who? Oh, yeah, you better hold on. That dude's a straight clown. Can't walk up no damn stairs. Falling every minute. And now this one, he falling on the ground. These old ass damn uh lifelong politicians who refuse to let go of power, man, because they've got an agenda. They want to see it done in their lifetime. They want full power, dominance, and control. He falls. Now he's in the hospital. Slow Biden can't walk up the stairs. All hell is breaking loose and they can't even get up the damn stairs. There you have it for America, man. All right, let's continue. Oh, look at Jill Biden. Well, she's running around still promoting this agenda. The row erupts online after Jill Biden gives transgender woman from Argentina a quote Woman of Courage award during International Women's Day ceremony. Did you hear that? This is supposed to be a ceremony for quote unquote International Women's Day, and guess who gets honored? A tranny. That means that there is no more women anymore. Women should be up in arms, saying, "Hold on, that's not a real natural woman." I mean, what are we talking about? I thought this was about women. See the confusion that American presents, man. Babylon Babal all day long. And Jill Biden, man, something's up with her because at that did y'all see her kissing um who was it? Uh she kissed one of these other dudes on the lips, man. See that? It's Slow Biden's wife. Look how they get down. Oh, it was Kamala Harris's husband. See, I'm going off script on this one. Look at this, man. This how they see this, man. These heathens wife swapping and all kind of stuff going on over there. Now she honoring trannies. There go Kamala Harris' husband. Give him a nice little slob down on. Are they close like that? I mean, what's going on over there? Slow Biden ain't got no problem with this. Why not? Because you we seen him and his exploits with the little girls. You dig what I'm saying? And now here they are giving this brave woman the Woman of Courage Award, for her standing out in Argentina. Her, good Lord, here I go. For him standing out, being brave in Argentina, being a transformer down there. This is America. This is spiritual Babylon, spiritual Sodom. There's rewards now for transforming. You're being honored at a place that's supposed to be for biological women. Now that's out the door. They've already changed the language now, man. They don't even know what a woman is anymore. Ask Ketanji Brown, Supreme Court Justice. Ask her if she still has she figured out what a woman is yet. I mean, we talking about a place of confusion, man. We're here. Confusion. She's slobbing down the damn husband of the vice president. I mean, what is going on here, man? Another train derails. This is different from Friday. This ain't a repeat story, y'all. This is a different one. Empty coal trail derails in West Virginia, injuring three crew members as burning cars plunge into a nearby river. Well, what the hell is going on with these trains? This one carrying coal crashes out. Three crew members get hurt. An empty coal train hit a rock slide along tracks in West Virginia on Wednesday. The crash caused a fiery derailment that injured three crew members. The crew members are being treated for non-life threatening injury. So notice how all of a sudden all of these stories is coming out. We're starting to hear about the issues going on with these trains and the derailments. Now the press is focusing in on them. But we read already earlier that they already had 12 by after January, just this year alone, before the major one over there in East Palestine. America's fumbling and bumbling this place all the way down to the toilet, and we already know because it's going to be falling. It is destined to fall. Thus saith Yahweh, thus saith the word of the Most High God. Revelation 18. Let's read it. Revelation 18:2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, has become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. I mean, when they doing that type of stuff, man, every unclean and every unclean and hateful bird, Jill Biden saluting a transformer as being a woman of courage, kissing her husband's vice president's husband. I mean, come on. Every foul spirit. I showed y'all the video 2 weeks ago with the Transformers and the drag queens dancing and twerking in front of babies and kids and toddlers and white women all over the dang place. I mean, every foul spirit is going on over here. Let alone its daddy, Great Britain, the brothers over in Jamaica. Sent me a video from the UK. Edomites riding around naked all over the place and doing some I don't know what bikeathon they was doing. All of them riding around bikes. I mean, hundreds of them, butt naked on bikes, displaying their love for Sodom and every foul spirit, man. America's birthed out of Great Britain, so don't be surprised when that spirit is still lingering over there. But this place is falling. The ultimate collapse is going down, man. Mexico. Everybody heard about the little tummy. See how fast, man, the media just exploits our people. The tummy tuck four. The four Jakes went down there, man, supposedly to get a tummy tuck for the sister, and they get caught in the crossfire of some cartels. Two of the Jakes die. Um, two lived. One I think is injured. And the cartellers came out and since apologized and said it was a mistake, a mistaken identity. Some madness going on, right? But look what the press does. Mexico now says the Gulf cartel's kidnap of the tummy tuck four could be directly linked to drug trafficking. The damn cartel came out and said, "Whoops, sorry, we didn't mean to do that. We're condemning the five people that went up there and shot them up and kidnapped them. That wasn't right." But the press come out here and talk about the damn Jakes was going down there possibly to do a drug deal. I mean, this is the type of foolishness, man. Uh, because they looked at the Jakes that got killed, looked at their previous look at their previous records and found out that they had minor drug offenses on a record. So they said, oh, maybe they might have been going down there to get drugs. Maybe they deserved it. Look at it. Ecclesiastes 26:5. There be three things that my heart feareth. And for the fourth, I was so afraid. The slander of a city, the gathering together of an unruly multitude, and a false accusation. All these are worse than death. Press came out real quick. Said, oh, yeah, maybe they was going down there to score on some dope. And the cartel came out and said, no, no, this was all mistaken identity, man. We didn't mean to shoot them up. Whatever the case may be, who knows what the hell's going on? Because they don't want all hell to break loose going down there. Either that or, we were talking about it yesterday. They made it seem they shot at some Jakes and said, man, there ain't going to be no ransom for them. Jakes ain't got no money. Get rid of them. Ditch the bodies and get the hell out of there. But they was quick, got them real fast, rounded them up. Now they came out repenting, saying, whoops, sorry, we didn't mean to do it. But the press is going out there saying maybe it was over drugs. Mexican officials are probing the possibility that members of the cartel kidnapped four Americans thinking they were encroaching on their turf, knowing that everybody, yeah, all these people going down there for them damn bot surgeries and all of that. And this the vanity that you know King Solomon was writing in Ecclesiastes about all his vanity. Because everybody's so caught up, keeping up with the Joneses, man. Instagram and the body outlooks that America presents as what's acceptable, what you should look like, what you don't look like. The pressure is on, especially for the women. They run around trying to look like something that they want to be. Now that Esau and the rest of these medical wizards are out there talking about we can make you look like whatever you want to. They go out there risking it all. For the four kidnapped U.S. citizens, look, DailyMail.com revealed lengthy rap sheets for the four kidnapped U.S. citizens, with authorities stating drug trafficking cannot be ruled out. Latavia McGee, Zendel Brown, Eric Williams, and Shaheed Woodard claim to have crossed the southern border for McGee's cosmetic tummy tuck surgery. So when you read the article, man, one Jake had a minor offense for weed, another one had some minor offense for drug paraphernalia, and then one he had a little bit of drugs that they said was to you they were going to he was intended to use for distribution. And everything was minor offenses. I mean, these cats didn't have like no damn doing years. They wasn't, selling bricks and all kind of. It was minor stuff, man. So they're gonna say, oh, maybe they was going down there to. These are small time little nickel and dime cats. If they was even doing that, they sounded like, based upon the report, they probably was doing it for consumption. Now all of a sudden they about to go score big with cartels out there to get 20, 30, 40 bricks and bring them back. Come on. It's the slander that goes on, man. False accusations happening. I mean, it goes on all over the place. But let's continue on. Here we go. Kidnapping of the tummy tuck for exposes America's growing medical tourism problem. 1.2 million U.S. citizens cross the border every year to save thousands for cut price facelifts, tummy tucks, and butt lifts. I mean, men shall be lovers of themselves. Indeed, Brother Byron, the devices of Satan. This is what happens. The vanities that our people get caught up in. They look trying to keep up with the Kardashians. Didn't they have that show? Wasn't that the name of they reality show? Keeping up with the Kardashians. And that's what they do. They want everybody to keep up with them. So they got all the cosmetics going on. They making all the money on the internet. They're showing their body getting money. They're getting the reality TV show deals. They're scoring on the athletes. You dig what I'm saying? So now they out there saying, well, if you want to live like us, keep up. And there you go. There you go. See this, Sirach 114. Solomon said, I've seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. He said everything he's seeing in the earth right now is just vexing. And a lot of vanity going on. Look at this. In the US, a tummy tuck could cost you $8,800. You go to Mexico, it's $2,500. A facelift, 11,000 in the US. You can get it done for half off. Mexico, 5 racks. You want boob job, 6,400 in the US. You can get it done in Mexico for 4,500. You got that big pepper nose, Esau running down there to save some money, try to shave off that nose. 5,500 in the US is gonna cost you 3,600 in Mexico. Up, sisters, that you want that? You need them cheeks enhanced. The Brazilian butt lift, one of the most famous ones. There was a video that went viral, I think, last year. They were showing all these women coming back from the Dominican Republic, man, all in wheelchairs and all jacked up because they was running down there to go get their butts done. And then you see some of them doing testimonies online talking about they'll never do that again. They're in so much pain. Oh, they wish they had never done it and blah, blah, blah. But to get your butt done, 6 racks in US, 4,500 on the low in Mexico. The gastric bypass, you want to do that weight loss surgery? 30,000 in the US, you can get it done for 13,800 on the low in Mexico. So you can see why people is running down there, risking their lives for new cheeks and noses and eyes and bellies and boobs, risking it all. Uh, with all the medical phenomenon going on the earth, man, look what Esau's spending their time on. Scientists create mice with two biological fathers for the first time. I mean, they're hell bent on trying to get Sodom and Gomorrah to be completely manifest here. They're in the lab trying to figure out how they can get two male mice to have a baby. Scientists create mice with two biological fathers for the first time in breakthrough that could pave the way for gay men to have children in the future. This is what they're worried about right now. You know, these Japanese scientists, they get funding from Edomite companies. They get these damn Ammonites in there, man, working day and night trying to figure out how they can get this accomplished. More madness. More madness. First Timothy 6. Uh and let's read where's that at? I think it's in 20. It says, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called." Science is really just knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So it's saying we have to be opposed of the knowledge that's falsely being acknowledged as right knowledge. And oppositions of science falsely so called. So false knowledge is out there, man. And science is that. Very different aspects of science. Science is in the Bible. There's good knowledge of science or good knowledge when it comes down to the creation and things of that nature. That's real science. That's from the Most High. But when Esau starts to getting into these labs and starts creating, clone babies and clone meats and um, uh, same sex mice having babies and all, that's when you see the false knowledge is going on, man. That's when it gets abominable. And Esau is key to it. This is what he's worried about right now, man. All of the plagues in the earth right now that needs healing and needs, supposedly needs his attention. He got more. He got Ammon in the labs, man, trying to figure out how he can get two male mice to have babies. Japanese scientists created seven mice by using cells from two male mice. They hope the process can be used in human males within the next 10 years. Good Lord. Most young men are single, most young women are not. What's going on with the male to female ratio? Why are young men saying we don't want women no more? More than 60% of young men are single, nearly twice the rate of unattached young women, signaling a larger breakdown in the social, romantic, and sexual life of the American male. But the Most High said, "What? Be fruitful and multiply." America is now discouraging that because they want to go ahead and make way for the LGBTQ plus HIV revolution. I mean, don't worry about it, man. The mice is getting ready to pave the way for you to have babies, guys. Well, what are you worried about? Women for 60%. Now, where are they getting these statistics from? How many they saying 60% of the young men are single. I think the ages is like 18 to 24, something like that. Um, and then they're saying that's nearly twice of young women. So I don't know how they got those statistics got down pat. Maybe some of the women are saying they're in committed relationships. Maybe they're not because the men are saying no, I'm single. It's hard to determine why they get them up, but best believe there's more young single guys out there running around, living their lives, as they say, as opposed to the women who are looking for commitment. Men in their 20s are more likely than women in their 20s to be romantically uninvolved, sexually dormant, friendless, and lonely. That's what they call these guys, those incels. The guys that sit in the house on the computers all day on the dark web, binging out on porn, you know, threatening women that that reject their advances, then go up and shoot up, go kill women, stalking women, shooting up clubs. They had a guy that up in Canada got the van and ran over a bunch of people. They said he was an incel. These guys are sexually dormant, friendless, and lonely. Locked in the basement, playing video games all day, going in chat rooms with other guys that feel like them. Says they stand at the vanguard of an epidemic of declining marriage, sexuality, and relationships that afflicts all of young America. We're in a crisis of connection. Well, I've done a bunch of different stories about the sex bots and all of that. Remember, even during the pandemic, I forgot what country it was. I think it was in was it Sweden? One of them countries over there in Europe, man. They had specials for people going in to the little brothels and getting the sex bots. When they first came out, maybe like 8, 9 years ago, they had one on display at one of these uh, conventions, and they said, man, by the time it was over, the damn thing was broken. All of these guys, man, ravaged these damn sex bots. They don't want no problem. They didn't want nothing to do with these things with human interaction no more. They want AI. That's why the chat GPT and all that's going on. Look at this real quick. Um, I'm already Let me I'll have to wrap this up pretty soon. But breeze to some of these other ones, and then we're gonna get on out of here. This is just a little bit. This is Lab 360. They're talking about Google AI, what they're doing with the technology right now, the humanoid robots and all this other stuff. This is what they're trying to usher in real quick. And people are buying into the AI. They got, imaginary girlfriends. I showed y'all the story last Friday about the guys that got the AI girlfriends, and the company shut it down, and they was had given people suicide hotline numbers and all of that because they were in love with their AI girlfriend and was mad that the company shut it down. Look at this. Now that's from a movie. That's not the that's from the movie X Machina, something like that. That's not the real thing, but that's what they're trying to get to. So this is Google's Lambda, and this is the avatar, Synthesia. They're having a conversation. This is the avatar. This is not a real woman. This is all digital imagery, and the voice is being powered by AI. This is why these guys are sitting up here thinking this is a real woman. This is my girlfriend, and they're talking via chat. You understand? Okay, you kind of get the point. This is the AI takeover that, they got men in here involved in conversations like that. That whole thing right there, I think the damn AI bots start talking more human and more emotionally than they needed to. They had to shut it down. So you want to look at Skynet and Terminator and all that other stuff. I mean, truth is stranger than fiction, man. The AI take over the processing is underway. That's where they, putting up these avatars. They already are disconnecting people to where people will be more willing to lock themselves down in a small crowd, small space, living in subsidized homes controlled by the government and Esau. Agenda 2030, man. You ain't got to go. They already made this, the social experiment with the lockdown and the quarantine. Stay away 6 feet, no relationships. So what was everybody doing? Everybody's online. So they already putting all these things into effect. The social experiment is showing true. AI is taking over. Young men are saying, you know what, we don't need women anymore. And if they do, they're running around carrying themselves like the brother in that video from yesterday's class about the 7 baby mamas and the 7 kids. If that was real, if it wasn't real, it comes from a real place. Let's continue. Look at it. This is the one I was talking about. Replica AI shuts down erotic role play. I thought I talked about this Friday. I didn't. Replica AI shuts down erotic role play. Community shares suicide prevention resources over the loss. See, look at this. They look at these little AI, avatars. They're having conversations with them. These guys, these men on here was thinking they was in real relationships with this thing. They got upset when they got turned down. I mean, people's getting turned out, man. Reality is not even in effect no more. Replicate AI, an app that has users create an artificial intelligence friend or lover, is shutting down its erotic role play or ERP for short functionality, leaving its users devastated to the point where they are now sharing mental health resources, including suicide prevention hotlines. Good Lord, this is where we at in the world. Replica AI. Man. Dudes are losing their minds when they shutting off erotic conversations with a damn AI bot. 286 sickened on the Princess cruise ship companies point to a likely cause. I mean, is they trying to tell everybody everything's back opened up? Come on out on vacation, spend some money on Carnival cruises and all of that. 80 people. They said they all was throwing up, pooping all over the place, stuck on the ship with all of that. Man, that's complete madness, man. I don't want no parts of them ships. Deuteronomy 28:68. That was enough for me. 12 have died since massive snowstorms cut off California mountains and the towns. But where's the governor at? California governor tests positive for after Mexico trip as death toll storms that buried the state in 16 feet of snow climbs to 12 and forecasters warn flooding is on the way. So remember when he declared a state of emergency, he took off. Oh, he went to Mexico to go vacation, and while he was out there, he caught the virus. State of emergency, 12 people died. His resources are saying, I'm going on vacation. The hell with the rest of y'all. And I'm going to punish Walgreens for not selling these abortion pills. I mean, we over here in the hellhole in California, man. We are in the hellhole in the world as we know it. All right. Long story short, man, we got to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why you shy? You said, yeah, Cardi B. She said she was she regrets getting shot and getting the butt work done. You know, um, and that's what it is. We say they're dating older men and they reject the men with no college degrees. See that? It's all here, brothers and sisters, man. The collapse is all in front of us, man. Society's done. Is that what they call it? Hypergaming? Interesting. Interesting. Man, well, you seen it. You been with it. You checked in. Now we got to check out, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, while you shy. Always remember, man, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, man. Throughout for y'all tuning in on a day that we don't usually get down. But we got to get this information out, man. I made good on my word. Lord willing, I'll be back again with another DSTM in the very near future. But until then, man, y'all be well. Continue keeping the commandments, fearing the Most High. Lastly, man, don't shoot the messenger. Don't do that. All right. Make sure you wipe your feet, man, on your way out, man. If y'all ain't do that, man, you need to repent and get back in line with the orders of the house. All right. So do your brother that favor, man. If you ain't do that, man, do that for me. I'll holler at you later. Shalom.